though that the EpiTRAQ or your findings in general may raise the awareness, or do you feel as though that children or preteens clinicians will start to force a little bit more of the awareness of things before they get to that point? Because it seems to me, as though from a couple of the experiences that you guys have mentioned, that sometimes people are just not even aware that these things are even happening, and then it hits them like a truck out of nowhere.
The general recommendation in the world of transition, not for epilepsy specifically, is to actually open discussion on transition as young as 12, 13 years of age. The background as to why this is a 16 to 26-year-old validated questionnaire is, I think it's a little bit outside the scope of this discussion, but no, you're right. Actually, the whole idea is to not unload this like a ton of bricks, like at the last minute, but actually make this a very slow process and, sort of do one thing at a time, such as, let's talk about your medicines. Do you know the names of your medicines? It may be that you know how many pills you take. The next time we'll talk about what's the name of your medicines. The third time we'll talk about, you're 14, what's going on with driving. So I think the idea is to make this a process pretty much like, there are people who talk about something like a transition curriculum almost that you do over time. Our goal was, we felt that since there was nothing of this sort that we could lay our hands on to start the screening process, 16 seemed to be an age where the need was the most acute, because these kids are really close to getting to being adults where they're going to have to think and do a lot of things on their own. And we felt that this was a good age to begin with, to begin this process.
Just two things. I mean, piggybacking on the age ranges, you're getting the early end and I'm getting the late end. Transition continues to happen, I think, even after young adults transfer, between a pediatric to an adult model clinic. And so, at our institution, that age tends to be 21 in terms of the transfer of care. And so, that means that for 5 years, from 21 to 26, I might be seeing adults in that age range that are still transitioning, in the sense that they may not yet be at the range where we would like them to be in terms of their knowledge and transition readiness. And I think sometimes transition is maybe thought of, before working on this, probably had a naive impression that was something that happened before, they came. And now I clearly realize that it's something that happens well after they come to an adult neurologist's care, and continues afterwards. And then just a brief comment on the age range. The TRAQ sort of questionnaire that we utilized as the basis for this was originally validated in age ranges of 16 to 26. And so we kept that kind of age range too.
Is there anything else that you guys would like to mention about whether it be findings or EpiTRAQ or the transition in general that you feel might be noteworthy or that people should kind of know about?
One of the things that is often not talked about in transition, because a lot of transition that you see either in the medical literature, on advocacy websites, is all transition from the pediatric perspective. Like the Child Neurology Foundation got transitions, the work that came out of Ontario. But a very important component of transition, and I feel singularly lucky in that regard, is a rich collegial collaboration with adult neurology. It is really the cornerstone, because you may do all this work in making your patients, your adolescents, your kids ready to make that jump. But if you don't know what the receiving end of your transition and transfer process is, I can't say it's less successful, because I don't know the outcome. I've not measured it objectively. But I just think knowing that, to know what Dr. Beimer needs, and we design our transition needs around that, makes a lot of sense, rather than to say, I think this is important. I'm telling my patients. So I think a key piece of transition that is often missed is the collaboration with adult neurology.